The more I learned about it, the more I learned to respect it, and that it actually is a tradition that's more than 100 years old, comes from many different countries, and we're actually carrying something on as wrestlers.
Well, North American Wrestling was established back in 1989 by Brian Ward and Len St. Clair.
For NEW to be running this long, 20 years, it just shows what how good the wrestlers are that we have, and how good the talent is, how good the trainers are, and just overall how good the company is.
You got $1,200, you can go to school, learn how to wrestle. It's just breaking into it's pretty easy. It's staying in it and doing the deed. Taking the ass whooping is the hard part.
What made me want to become a professional wrestler is I was just very fascinated with the showmanship of the sport, and not only that, but the physicality of the sport.
The fondest memory I have is in kindergarten. Everybody had to make these paper towel rolls. They had to make them into whatever they wanted to be, and kids had policemen and nurses and firefighters. I had a guy in a singlet, and no one knew what it was, and I told him it was a pro wrestler, and that's exactly what I wanted to do since I can remember.
You know, to break into the wrestling business, you already have to have a few things going for you, and one of them is not a love of wrestling. You don't have to love wrestling to be a good wrestler, and you can actually see that in some of the wrestlers. I won't lie to you, because you never get paid what you're worth. No one ever has enough money to pay you fair. That's the indie wrestler right there.
You have to pay your dues, and you have to put up with a lot of crap from a lot of people, and basically have to show them that you're going to take whatever it takes to stay in what you love.
It's all about just paying your dues and being respectful of others and hoping you get a chance, you know.
You have got to have some size. You have got to have, if you don't have size, if you're not big, you have to have coordination and be really, really great at doing complicated moves to guys. Really complicated kicks, really complicated top turnbuckle stuff, if you're not big. If you're big, you just go lift weights and pound on people.
I'm not just a person that calls myself a wrestler. I actually live the life of a wrestler. I eat, train, I train twice a day. I eat strictly to gain size and stay lean and look really good for shows.
Well, training's the easy part because I love training. I love training other guys too, teaching them a couple things. That's easy.
You're on the road a lot. Every day I'm in the gym. You know, I go to a regular job just like everybody else and train my ass off. It's pretty tough.
You got to be mentally strong, because after they go from point A to point B, it's very discouraging at first because you go through a lot of body aches and pains that a lot of people don't expect.
It's hard, and you got to be good because there's thousands of wrestlers out there. And you got to be on the top of your game, wrestle every match like, you know, it's the main event.
I've been really lucky, but I've seen a lot of injuries. Just, you know, it's a rough sport, you know.
I've been pretty lucky. I've only had one real major injury. I broke my wrist when I was thrown off a stage. It was my idea, and I kind of slammed it into the ground and broke my wrist. Had to finish the match, and I did.
I have had a broken rib, a scratched cornea, chipped my teeth so many times, they're not even close to what they looked like when I started wrestling.
I've got multiple scars on the top of my head from getting busted open. I've had a clay pot go through my jaw and had to have stitches in 2 different places.
Yeah. Oh! That was cool.
I was doing a moonsault to the outside, an acai moonsault. And I landed on the guardrail and had a complete fracture of my tibia. That's the only injury I've ever taken time off from. Fans is the crazy part for me because I've never looked at me as special. And when some random dude wants me to sign their shirt that they paid like 20 bucks for, I'm honored and everything, but I'm gonna ruin their shirt because nobody knows who the hell I am.
Just going out there to see all the fans cheering, that's like the best feeling in the world.
Fans are the reason we wrestle. If nobody chants your name, why are you doing it?
you know, they're either booing or cheering you. It's just an awesome experience. A good high, you know, I guess you can say, without the drugs.
I'd have to say my favorite match from NAW would be with Virgil when he won the NAW title from me. What's so fascinating about that match is that Virgil is such a small guy, but to me, he stands out in my mind as one of the best NAW talents because it doesn't matter how small the guy is, he's in great shape. He doesn't let the fact that he's small discourage him. And when he performs like he's a big dog.
I live professional wrestling. I wrestle more than anybody in the state of California, and if you don't believe me, challenge me. Go and find someone in California that works more promotions and more shows than Rick Luxury.
And then honestly, and this is so important because there's so many kids out there who in their backyards think they're becoming wrestlers, you have to go to a real wrestling school. You have to. It doesn't happen if you don't go to one. There are plenty of backyarders who went to a wrestling school and then became professionals, but no one ever goes from the backyard to being a professional.
Once again to introduce the Bone Crusher. My music. My pleasure. I don't know if people are aware of it, but there is a professional wrestling school right here in our town.
Well, the Null School has been around for a number of years. Basically, with the school, me, Mike Rain, and Ollie Anderson has all been trained by Browne Ward, aka Bone Crusher. He got trained out of the Hart dungeon in the 80s. And he was the original one. Him and Dr. Luther opened up the school back in 1989.
What do you teach these guys? You teach them how to bleed? You teach them how to...
No, that just comes natural to most people. No, it just teaches them everything you need to know to get in the ring psychology, all the bumps, ring strategy, TV charisma. Hello there. And it's everything they need to get them ready to be in front of the people in the pro rings, just so they're ready to go. They're just like a factory where you turn them out.
We teach them everything that they need to know to become a professional wrestler. How to fall, how to take all the moves, how to deliver all the moves, how to be safe in the ring, how to put on a good show.
From training, you got to know taking bumps and all that, and you got to suck up all that pain and soreness and bruises.
But it's also the best part because you get to come back and just get better at it. You never quit learning with wrestling. You're always in there trying to learn new moves. But I started training in June, like beginning of June, and I had my first match in August, so it didn't take too long, but you still always learn more.
You have to be a good athlete. First of all, those guys are good athletes, aren't
Absolutely,
they?
yeah.
That's true.
Being athletic is there's no way you can be a wrestler without really getting around with not being athletic. It ties into so many things when you're doing everything about wrestling takes athletics. If you're not athletic, you'll go out there and you will get hurt for real, and you'll be dragged off and patched up and sent home.
The hardest thing about training to be a wrestler, honestly, is probably about the first month of training. The cardio really is hard too at first if you're not used to running. Cardio has a lot to do in this business, and learning how to fall and take the bumps and just suck up the pain.
But you just got to suck it up and keep coming back if you really want this. I know all the moves. I know how to take all the moves. It took me about a good 3 months until I had my first match with NAW. I mean, I could wrestle for 12 years and still learn something.
We've trained so far about 14 students that me and Mike Rain has. Over the years, Browne Ward trained probably about over 50 students. The program right now, we have it set up, it's $1,200, and we can get you trained within 3 to 6 months. $1,200 is really cheap compared to other schools. I know some schools that charge $6,000 just to go through the school. The referee and valet school, our manager school, that's $750 right now, and that's really cheap compared to other schools.
Like I say, if anybody has any interest in, give us a call and we'll pass the information along.
Where warriors are made.
Where warriors are made. Oh, thank you.